Hey, good morning, everybody. How's everybody morning going? I'm just here on route to work, see some clients, things like that, and just enjoying the day. I know I was a little busy yesterday, so I forgot Testimony Tuesday, but I'm actually going to do it here for you live and then just upload it to YouTube and stuff later. But I just wanted to let you guys know about a little testimony. And now I was going to do another Disney testimony, but I'm going to do an education testimony because my path has been extensive when it came to, getting educated. So I'm just going to start. When I was younger, ever since the age of 6, my parents put me in Catholic school. And anybody that know that when you go to Catholic school, it's kind of extensive and it's kind of strict. I mean, went to the Catholic school where they beat you with rulers, and then when your mom and dad find out, you get beatings. It was just that strict. So I was in Catholic school, getting honor rolls and stuff like that, doing very well. And I guess adolescence kicked in where I didn't even appreciate school, or I didn't even like school. Like, it was a guy. I think most men, well, all men, real men, alpha men, we don't like being taught. School is more of a, the way school is designed. It's like the women can, much learn. They don't have like attention disorders or nothing like that, so they can look and they can be in school and succeed. Where men, we just want to play, we want to explore, we want to do things. And I'm not talking about all men, but I was at that point where I stopped getting good grades, and what I did, I just started like goofing off. I just didn't want to do the work and stuff like that. I still made decent grades, but I really, man, I was just being an adolescent, man. Never was I dumb, never was I was unintelligent. It just was the fact that I was just being a kid. So fast forward, when I got out of Catholic school, I started going into public school. And that was a whole different animal. People thought it was sweet because I came from Catholic school, and I wound up fighting a whole lot. Went to a school called Shoemaker, wound up fighting like almost every day. My mom got me into boxing. That was the best decision. Not only it taught me discipline, but it also taught me self-defense. It taught me how to take care of my body. It taught me that you don't have to cower down. You can defeat any foe. And actually, I'm going to give you another middle school testimony, probably next Tuesday, about how I overcame bullies and really got into God. But anyway, so I'm in middle school. Now, from the jump from Catholic school to public school, their education wasn't as intense as mine. So I started excelling again, started getting on honor roll, getting like English awards and stuff like that. And then what happened, adolescence happened again. I got to my teenage years, started thinking about girls and things like that. So even though I was smart, I wasn't acting smart. I used to, be goofing around with my friends, like running in between classes and stuff like that. So my grades fell again in public school. And when they did that, they put me in some type of reading class that, like people for disability are reading, and I definitely didn't have that. But the reason I was in that class was because I didn't try. School just didn't interest me. I was always smart, but I was just like, man, this is not it. And half the time, and I'm gonna say the majority of the time, it was the teachers. That's why I don't like public schools. And when I do get children, I will homeschool my children. Some of these professors, these teachers, these dean of students, they not for the schools. They just there to collect the check. And I'm just going to be real with you. So I really didn't fulfill none of my professors, teachers, or nothing in school. Matter of fact, I wanted to fight like 90% of them. So, if any of them see this, they know how I feel about them. And them feelings are still true to the day. I had forgave y'all. I had to forgive myself, but I still don't like the Philadelphia educational school system and none of the teachers that taught me in it. So, and then with that being said, I wasn't feeling school. So we fast forward, to in my 7th grade year, I was in that class, and actually that's when I started picking up. I was like, wait a minute, I'm trying to get to a good high school, so I need to start ramping it up as far as my education, my reading and stuff. So I kicked into full attempt mode, started getting honor roll again, graduated with decent honors. Then I had an opportunity to go to Central High School, which is one of the best high schools in Philadelphia. And due to the slothfulness of my father, he didn't want me to, go there or catch the bus or whatever it was. I wasn't able to go to Central. I had an opportunity, but because of poor parenting, and I can say that, no beef with my dad, but I'm going to keep it real. It is what it is. Because of poor parenting, I wound up going to Overbrook High School, which made me the man I am today. Now, I fought like damn near every day in Overbrook, man. It was just like a Chinese film. Like, people knew that I boxed, people knew that I lived in a certain area of town, and everybody just wanted to test you. So, I'm no stranger to getting fighting. Did I win every fight? No. But when I seen them dudes that I lost again, we fought again. So it was just like a 2-3 round. They might have won the first one, I won the second one, they won the third one, but I was persistent. I never gave up. I always seen the dude that beat me and always wanted to go back at him. And wait a minute, I'm deriving from the testimony. But yeah, I was always fighting in school. Always. It distracted me from, I did more fighting than reading. I did more fighting than anything, man. I'm glad that I wasn't even locked up as an adolescent, man. Through textbooks at people's heads. Somebody had the nerve to throw some M&Ms at me. I bashed their head into the wall. And I'm not glorifying the brutality of the situation. It was just my environment. It was just where I grew up at. It was just what I was, doing at the time. So I wasn't really educational minded. I was in survival mode, and Overbrook was not a good school at all to be going to, because it was times there where people would bring guns into school. It was always war between the Islamic faith and Jamaican students. It was just horrible. It was just terrible, And the last fight I got into Overbrook, I thought I was going to get in trouble because I wound up splitting somebody's eye open, during fighting. Now, what this got to do with education? It got a lot to do with education, because when I was fighting and stuff all that time, I didn't even think it was no way out. I was just like, look, I got to do what I got to do to survive. I could have went to Central, but I didn't. So now it's just, it's an all-out brawl. It's an all-out war. So last time I fought, then my dad took action. He was like, man, you fighting every day. You being suspended every other week. He looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, well, what's wrong with you? I'm defending myself. I'm not going to let nobody just roll over me. So when I split the dude eye open, he took me out of that school, and I wound up going to University City High School. And me going to University City High School, I didn't get into no fights. There was some jealousy there. People wanted to fight me, but they seen that I was too real. They didn't even touch me. But I was able to focus there. I was able to focus there, even though all the professors and the teachers was poor. I would say, except Lou Williams, my football coach and dean, and Mr. Richardson, my English teacher, and I would say Mr. Furlong. The rest of them teachers was like the worst teachers ever. I don't even know how they got degrees, to be honest with you. And you can tell them I said that too, because they know they didn't belong in there teaching them kids, and they know they didn't care for them. But through that, I still got good grades. I came to the top of my class. I was in sports. I was in baseball. I was in football. I was also in a musical internship program when I was in University City as well. So this all aided me to get better grades. So when I graduated, no, I wasn't top of my class, but I graduated with like the average grade point average, and I after graduating with the average grade point average, I wound up not doing well in SAT because I never prepped for it, never took prep courses. I scored average, but not as well to get into the college that I wanted to get into. So I applied to 3 colleges, and upon graduating University City, one was Lock Haven University, one was Penn State University, one was Temple University. Now the school I really wanted to go to was Penn State. I wanted to walk on and play football at Penn State. That's all I was thinking about. I was like, yo, I'm going to be a Nittany Lion. I'm going to Penn State. Going to Penn State. Grades wasn't good enough. Scores wasn't good enough. Didn't get into Penn State. So after I didn't get into Penn State, I was kind of like a little bit shaken that I didn't get into Penn State. I was just a little bit like, wow. I wanted to get into Penn State, and I was like, all right, I'm waiting for the letter from Temple. So I was like, cool. I got a chance. I didn't get into Penn State, so let's see what Temple going to do. So I get the letter from Temple University. They denied me too for the same reason Penn State did. So I'm like, oh man, I ain't getting this 2 schools I wanted to. Lock Haven was a school. It wasn't even on my hit list. Like, I ain't gonna lie, when I graduated high school, I didn't even know much about colleges. All I wanted to do was get out my neighborhood and get from under my dad. That's all I wanted to do. I was like, man, I don't even care where I go at this point. I'm just trying to get up out of Philly. I'm just, I'm done with it. It was just like, I could say adolescence was like the worst time. I really didn't care about education. I just wanted to get out of Philly before I really hurt somebody. So I remember meeting this guy. Lock Haven came to University City, and the recruiter was Kenny Hall. And I remember meeting Kenny Hall, and he was telling me how Lock Haven changed his life, how he was able to do this, that, and the third, how he didn't get good grades, how he was a youth in trouble and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, I'm always fighting every day. I'm not concentrating on school. But at this point when he came, I done flipped it around. But I was like, all right, cool. This school, Lock Haven, done wonders for him. So I might as well apply. So I talked to Kenny on a one-on-one basis. I was like, listen, man, I don't know much about getting into college. I'm about to graduate. I just need to know how to apply to your school. And he gave me his card, and he was like, listen, Tim, he's like, if you really want to go to school, you really want to change your life, Lock Haven is the place for you. And he told me, he was like, listen, if you really want to get in, I can get you in. I understand that your SAT scores is not that great, but I can get you in school. All you need to do was this, that, and the third. I think I had to write an essay, get my counselors to approve, and things like that, just the little things. So I wound up going to getting everything set up for Lock Haven. Now, mind you, I never visit the campus. Never visit the campus. I never knew about Lock Haven. Didn't know where it was. All I knew was that I was going, and I was out. So I was like, cool. I was like, I'm getting out of Philly. I'm doing this. I'm going to Lock Haven. This is what I'm going to do. So I wound up going to Lock Haven. I remember my dad drove me up there, and it's funny because my dad didn't help me out with none of my things. Well, he just dropped my stuff to the door, and this was like the funniest thing my dad did. My dad looked at me, son, you're a man now, and drove away. So I had to bring up all that stuff, up to my dorm room and stuff like that. And it was funny because I was a matriculated student. And if anybody know what matriculation is, it's that the students that didn't have the best SAT scores and stuff like that, we had to do a summer program before actually entering Lock Haven. So I had to prove myself to Lock Haven that I could handle the coursework. I excelled, man. In that summer program, I had A's and B's and stuff like that. Went home for 2 weeks. Went back to Lock Haven, a full-time student. First year at Lock Haven, My grade point average was like a 2.8. I was trying. I went to every study session. I was glad. I was happy that I made it into college. You know, like I said, I was never a dumb guy. Just didn't had any interest in school. I had more interest in fighting and protecting myself rather than school. I had more interest in music and rapping than I did in school, but never was a dumb guy. I just didn't like school. I didn't like the teachers. I didn't like the professors. I thought they was nutty. They ain't make enough money for me. It was just not an interest. I didn't want to be like them. You know, I actually despised them. So I never did like school, but I was glad and I was grateful that I made it. I made it into Lock Haven. I was a full-time student. So I spent a year and a half in Lock Haven University, you know, still making good grades, still doing the best. I always still wanted to either go to Penn State or I wanted to go to Temple. So I was transferring. I was thinking about it because Lock Haven, and I got some Lock Haven stories too, but I ain't gonna tell those yet. Those are some testimonies. So, but Lock Haven wasn't like the it school. You know what I mean? It was like a small school. Picture this: if you're a fan of the franchise Back to the Future, picture Hill Valley 1955 when Marty went back into the future. That was Lock Haven. And I'm not bragging on Lock Haven, but I loved that school, but it was so old school. I mean, the movie theater was old, but it was beautiful. You had a creek. And Lock Haven, I made the best friends of my life in Lock Haven. We was such a close-knit family in Lock Haven. You know, I was introduced to both of my fraternities at Lock Haven. It was a wonderful experience. But like anything in life, you got to grow. So after that year and a half in Lock Haven, I created my own group. I, excelled and stuff like that. So I wound up doing an internship for Walt Disney World, which, if y'all seen my previous video, I did. I told about the testimony about that. So after leaving Lock Haven, I did an internship for Walt Disney World. I let my counselors know at Lock Haven. I was like, man, and I had such a great time. I was like, I'm not going to return back to Lock Haven. Now, I know Lock Haven gave me a chance, and usually you got to, be loyal to the person that gave you a chance. But in this life, you always got to keep your options open. Never put all your eggs in one basket. So I said, if I can succeed at Lock Haven, I can succeed at Temple. So I started the process. I transferred to community college. Got dean's list in community college the whole year I was there. So in my Lock Haven college credits transferred, and I wound up getting my associate degree in business. So once I got my associate's degree in business, what happened? Yeah, I got my associate's degree in business, and I was accepted into Temple University because my high GPA at community college. It wasn't because what I did in Lock Haven. Temple University is a school that rejected me 3 times. It rejected me 3 times. So I wound up getting in there. I was happy. I was like, I'm a Temple student now. But I got rejected 3 times. So sometimes when you get rejected by anything, and I'm a salesperson, it'll take me 5 rejections or 6 rejections from a person before I stop asking them for the sale. So I kept on applying to Temple, even when I was in Lock Haven, could not get in. But for some reason, 3rd time is the charm. I got in on the 3rd time. So I was like, oh, cool, I'm a Temple student. This was it's not Penn State, but it's Temple. I'm at home. I'm in Philly. I got into the program, yada yada. I was happy. So after, I got into Temple, I remember dating this girl, and I forgot her name, but for the sake of this testimony, we're gonna call her Susie. So I know that's a horrible name for a chick, but I forgot her name. That's how insignificant she was. So I'm dating Susie and stuff like that, and we talking, and she sees, some of my writing and stuff like that. Now, mind you, I was an okay student in Lock Haven, but I wasn't a skillful writer yet. I was still making errors. grammars, mistakes, and stuff like that. Some errors, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm amazed he makes those mistakes today, but I perfected my craft, and I'm gonna let you know, to on the end of this testimony. So she used to see some of the essays I wrote from college and stuff like that. And actually, she told me this before I got in the Temple. I was like, yeah, I'm happy I'm graduating Dean's List and, community college. I'm about to go to Temple. And she said, Tim, I'm going to be honest with you. The way you write and the way your diction is and your English, she told me straight up, you'll never make it at Temple. That was the last day I spoke to Susie. And I told her this: don't ever tell me what I'm not going to do. Don't ever do that. You're supposed to be my woman, so-called, and you're going to tell me that I'm not going to make it? So that's the last time I spoke to Susie. Like I said, I forgot her name, but I remember her saying it. I remember her saying distinctly that the way you write or something like that, you'll never make it at the Temple. But here's where God gets the praise, and I want y'all to hear this. And God, just make the signal. I want the people to hear this. So she told me that I would never make it to Temple. Not only that I made it to Temple, I made it in Temple, I graduated Temple University. And went on from there. I graduated in 2005, took 3 years off just to work and just to, make money. Then I went to Strayer University, graduated on the Dean's List there with my MBA in finance. And also, I went to Walden University for a year and a half. I didn't finish, but I was working on my doctorate in business administration. So I got like 2.5 years left to go for my doctorate. I'm going back. But I know this testimony was long, but I had to let y'all know this, that I worked hard. I worked hard in everything I did just to get to the point. I'm a doctoral candidate. Now, I took time off for several different reasons. One, my grandfather died. I wasn't focused on school. And two, I have my own business now, so I'm growing that. And also, I ran out of loan money. So I will get my business to the point where it will pay for my college. That's no excuse. I'm going back and I'm going to finish. But the reason I'm saying this, because everybody counted me out. They counted me out in middle school. My professors used to say I would never succeed in college, in middle school. My teachers would say that. My counselors would say that. You're not proficient in reading. You're not doing this. Your grammar is off. But God is a good God. He told me that I'll be above and beyond. And I am going to be Dr. Lawson. It's just a matter of time. I'm going to be, Dr. Lawson, going to be doing profound things as far as unemployment. That's going to be my specialty. And I'm telling you this because I had girlfriends. Even my father said something derogatory, saying I won't make it. My uncles, one of my uncles told me when I got my associate's degree that wasn't anything. I had a lot of negative pull in my life, man. A lot of people not rooting for me, thinking I was dumb, thinking I was this poor, thinking this, thinking that. But God, God showed my enemies, man, and them same enemies is jocking me today. Them same enemies that told me I wasn't going to amount to nothing, telling me that they proud of me today. And I don't need your, sir, I don't need you to be proud of me. I don't need any of that, because I got God. As God showed me what's the get down is. And the reason I'm telling you this testimony this morning is because I had to overcome a lot of things. I had to really overcome myself. A lot of that stuff wasn't people telling me I wasn't nothing, but a lot of it was believing that I wasn't nothing. But when I started intensely reading the Bible, and he was saying that I was fearfully and wonderfully made, God was telling me I was handsome, I was this, I was that. It didn't matter what my girlfriend Susie at the time said that I wouldn't make it in the Temple. It didn't matter what those professors said. It didn't matter what my father said. It didn't matter. When you got your own family telling you that you're not going to make it, it could devastate you. But I'm not a weak person. I'll fight my dad. I'll fight anybody on the street. And I'm not talking about physically fighting, but I'm going to let you know that what you said about me ain't going down like that, bro. God got something better for me. God got a whole testimony for me. And the ultimate testimony, when I get this doctorate degree, I wish I could find Susie again. Because I'm going to give that to her. I'm going to give her the degree. You know why? Because she said that I would never make it in Temple. I would make a copy of something. I wish I could give her the degrees I got now. But I will give her my doctorate degree. I don't care if she's married or not. You know, I don't even know how she look anymore. You know, it's been so long. But if I found her, I would give her the degree. Like, no, this is for you. Thanks for believing in me. And walk away. This for you. I did this for you. I did this because you told me I couldn't. I did this because you said I would never make it. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. So, that's why you can't believe in people. You can believe in God. And it's just like, I remember, man, everybody told me I was going to make it. From my uncles to my dad to my so-called friends. Everybody. Like, you ain't going to do this. How you going to do this? But when you got God in the forefront, and I always believed in God, I was like, you know what, God? Me and you, we're going to rock out. We're going to ball out. We're not even going to worry about what they saying over here. You know? My dad still can't believe I done and achieved greater than he did. And this ain't no shots at, I'm not taking shots at my dad. I'm not taking shots at my uncle. But it's just, you know, you gotta forget anything anybody say about you. And this testimony is that a person told me I would never succeed in education, but yet I'm 2.5 years away from becoming Dr. Lawson. Isn't that funny? And when I become that, I'm going to think about all the people that laughed, that, you know, didn't think I could do this and do that. I'm going to think about all of them. And I'm like, look, man, God had a better way for me. But I thank all of y'all for, you know, not believing in me. So, because I believed in myself. And guys, I'm going to end with this. You can't always you can't always have people put your destiny in their hands. Because a lot of times people will talk you out of blessings. A lot of times people will talk you out of anything. Let me ask you a question. If I believed what my father told me, what Susie told me, my uncle, and all the other naysayers telling me, I wouldn't be talking to you today. You know where I'll be? I would be shy. I would be timid. I wouldn't even have the gall to even do this testimony. I would just be like, oh well, I never succeeded in school. Oh well, I'll probably be at Burger King. I may have made it to manager or something like that, or got fired, or had like 3 baby moms and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people like that. They let people predict their life. Instead of letting God predict your life, they let people predict their life, and they wind up not doing anything. And this testimony just letting you know that I overcame a major educational hurdle. According to everything I went into my life, fighting all the time, I'm lucky I didn't off nobody in my teenage years. I had so much anger in me. But God, man, God came through. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You know, share. When I upload this video, y'all can share it. It's a testimony. My testimony is kind of be raw because, you know, that's the way I give it to you. So, you know, it's no cursing or nothing like that, but I'm just keeping it real with you. You know, God is a real God. I ain't going to just be hooting and hollering and like, oh yes, but God. And no, I'm gonna talk to you real. Like, I was like, man, you know, he talked to me like, Tim, you an ill nigga. I like your style. Keep on going. Don't let nobody distract you. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do because I told you you can do. That's how I talk to God. I don't know how y'all do it, but me and God, we G'd up. So, like she said, if this bless you, share this testimony with somebody else. Maybe this will get them out of their funk. But remember, never, ever, ever give up. Till next time, God bless.